Hey guys, it's Rosemary. So today's a little bit wonky, a little bit different. I'm recording from my car because I forgot my computer at home. I had a really busy morning running back and forth, but you know what? It's okay. You guys just need the information. It doesn't have to be fancy. So we're going to make it work here in my car. Hopefully nothing crazy happens back here. But so today is day 2 of 5 days to your first digital product. So if you are just joining us here today, day 1 was yesterday. You can watch the replay on my Facebook page below. If you have not signed up, there's going to be a link added to this video where you can sign up. There's a bit.ly link. I want to say it's 5 days to first product, maybe. I'll have to look and see what it really is. But then if you can sign up for that, you'll get your emails in your inbox, which have freebies that you can download, plus links to these videos if you missed a couple. So you want to make sure you're watching all of them, especially in order because there's different, pieces to the puzzle, and I want to make sure you're really getting the full enchilada, getting all the information, and just really feeling really good about creating those first digital products if you have never created one before. Or you might have had some in the past and you're ready to kind of pivot and do something that's maybe less obvious, but you're gonna, find a gap in the market, which is what we're gonna talk about today. I love this day because I feel like a lot of us try to take the easy route. Right? Even though we work really hard, we go to the first most obvious thing to us, like I'm a photographer, so I'm going to do styled stock photos. And while styled stock photos are amazing, and I really do think that everyone could shoot them and create a shop, and there's a market for everyone because everyone has a different point of view, I do believe that. But I also feel like there's a lot of other things that people need that aren't being created that would be super, super helpful for some people. And so what I want you guys to do is think of the end game. Think of the human beings that are on the opposite side of this, right? That's what we kind of don't think of. We think of ourselves. We're like, okay, what do we, we talked about yesterday, what are we good at? What are our skills? What are our tools? But before we move forward and create like the first thing that comes to our mind, I really want you guys to think of who we are serving. Thinking about who your ideal customer is, right? So same thing with styled stock. Before I go, and I know I have a camera, I know I like doing photography, I know I'm good at that, I have the tools to do it, I have the software. Before I go and create a bunch of just random styled stock photography, I want to know exactly what kind of styled stock photography I'm shooting, because otherwise, if I don't have any direction at all and I'm just like shooting everything I see, that doesn't create a cohesive product and it doesn't serve somebody necessarily. It doesn't solve someone's problem. Instead, what I can do is sit down and say, okay, who do I want to serve the most? Who do I feel like needs my help the most? Who is searching for a solution to a problem that I know I can help fill? So for me, maybe it's somebody that was like a past client for a service, and I really loved working with them, and I want to just make carbon copies of that client over and over and over. But I noticed that they, need something from me other than just my service. Maybe I created a website for them, but they actually need photos for their blog. So I can look at that client and I can say, okay, she's going to be creating recurring content. She's going to be creating blog posts, and she needs photographs that are aligned with her brand, that tell her brand story, that creates brand awareness, that fits in with the things that she's sharing. But there's really not a whole lot. I mean, there are other styled stock subscriptions, but maybe this client has a very specific look, a very specific vibe, a very like niche thing that they do. Maybe you could be the one to fill that niche. So Jana of Twiggy Post has done this. She looked and said, I have a lot of people that I know and want to serve that sell essential oils. So I'm going to go and create a freebie of doTERRA products, essential oils, that's going to be for free for them. And then I'm going to create a styled stock collection of apothecary things. So it's like bottles and herbs and things like that in her collection, because she knows that the exact people that would need this collection might need a freebie from her. So she did both things, right? She created that free opt-in to get their attention, to give to them before she asks for their money for the collection that she created to serve those specific people. And you can do this over and over and over. You can take one specific person and create products for them at first, and then you can move on to another avatar. Maybe you love working with people in the beauty industry, but you're going to create something specifically for hairstylists, and then specifically for people that do hair extensions, and then maybe specifically for people that run a salon, maybe specifically for people that are in a salon studios. Maybe then you're going to move to people that do hair and makeup for weddings. There's just so many different niches, but because there's so many choices, you have to pick one, and you have to start with one before you just creating you're creating things willy-nilly. You're wasting all this time. You feel like you're not going anywhere. So start with the human beings, right? Go to them and specifically ask them what they need from you, right? And so before we can ask, we have to know who it is. So the freebie today, if you go in your email and you hit the download button, you can get this printable, and you can use it paper and pencil if you want. You can use it as a PDF in like Adobe Sketch on my iPad Pro, and just start filling out the people. Who is it? What do they look like? Where do they live? What is their job? What kind of content are they creating? Where is the gap in the marketplace that I can serve? Now, I've talked about gaps before, but what I like doing when I'm looking for gaps in the marketplace is look at people that are doing something similar to you. So I guess you can consider that your competition, but you can find where there's gaps in their offerings. So for me, I, for a long time, looked at people like Marie Forleo, and she creates something called B School. It's this amazing training program that people go through, and they learn how to run a business, they learn how to get started, they get all the tools for that, but then there's probably more support that those human beings need after they're done with B School. I could be the one to fill in that gap. Likewise, Amy Porterfield, she creates amazing courses. She's created a course on how to create a course, right? I've purchased that course, I've taken it, I've done the work, I've built my courses off of her, platform. But I do know that there are humans that take that course as well that don't know how to put things together like a slide deck. They don't know how to put together a sales page maybe. They need graphic design. They need styled stock photography. They need copywriting services. So I can look at that and say, okay, these humans are being served by this amazing entrepreneur, but they probably need help in this other area or this aligned area. I could be the one to fill in that gap. So all I need to do is say, okay, I fill out that worksheet, I put all of those details in, they're starting a course, they've purchased from Amy Porterfield, they listened to her podcast. So then when I go and say, what do I need to create for these people? I can go into Amy Porterfield's Facebook groups that she runs, especially the one for courses, because I purchased that course from her. I'm a member of that group. I could go in and I could private message whoever I want in that group. So maybe my ideal client is a woman, a mom that works in the health and wellness industry. Maybe that's who I want to target. That's who I just choose to work with. I can go in and I can private message each of those people in that group and say, hey, I know that we're both in Amy Porterfield's course. It's really amazing. I want to start creating things for people that are creating courses, and I want to just support you and help you. Can we jump on a video chat call or like a Zoom call or just direct message each other? And can I see where you maybe need help and support? And then I can start creating products to help people like you. Simple as that. Super easy. But you need to know, number one, who you want to work with. Then get in that conversation of what do you need? What is the gap? But before you know those things, I like looking at people that are doing a great job. Now, I use this example in my talk, I think it was my podcast episode with Cinnamon Wolf, but I said, if you want to do styled stock photography and you don't really know what to shoot, you're just starting out, you see that there's a lot of people doing specific things. Like maybe you look at me and Jana and you're like, okay, I love their styles, they're doing all this cool stuff, their brand's pretty aligned, I love their vibe, I love their stuff, but I notice that they don't have any photos of makeup. Maybe I want to shoot just like Jana or just like Rosemary, but I want to shoot makeup because I'm passionate about makeup, and a lot of my people that I work with are makeup artists. So maybe I'm going to do something similar, but because they do not have that offering, because there is a gap in the marketplace for good makeup photos, I'm going to shoot that. Maybe it's something different. Maybe it's something like you live in a certain country, and so when we create amazing holiday images or like really cool things that will help people with their marketing, maybe your specific country celebrates a different holiday, but there's no good styled stock photos to be found of, for that holiday. So, hey Dylan, how's it going? Oh, and hi Jillian, how are you? Maybe that is the gap that you can see. There's so many different ways to find different gaps. So you just have to figure out who you want to serve first and then find out what they need from you, right? One other thing, so me and Jenna, we really focus on like female entrepreneurs is our bread and butter, but that doesn't mean we hate men. We will work with men. However, because my audience is mostly women, if I'm going to create a styled stock collection, I'm not going to do masculine images. The primary portion of my audience is women. You can look on my Instagram, you can look on my Facebook, and the numbers, the data show, hey Dylan, The numbers show, the data shows that I am serving women that are between the ages of 35 and 45. That is my main audience. On some places it skews younger, Instagram. And so when I create things for people, I'm not going to then say, just because one person asked me, I'm now going to shoot really dark, moody, masculine images. That's just not my vibe, and that's just not my audience. So you could be that gap filler, right? Maybe you love shooting masculine images. Maybe you love like cognac and cigars and like leather-bound books and all that crap, you know? Maybe that's your jam. And so that can be the gap that you're filling. But the only way to know about these things, the gaps, are to listen. You need to have a listening strategy. Facebook groups, Twitter, Anchor podcasts where you can call in, just DMing people on Instagram, finding those people, stalking them, connecting with them, engaging with them, and then sending them a private message and asking them questions, starting those conversations, getting feedback from them. A lot of us forget, like, especially when we're doing like launches, especially when we're trying to do the numbers, right? Like, all of us get hyped about the numbers. We read about like these amazing launches and like all these challenges that are generating all this money and all these sales, and like people are making all this money, but we forget, like, at the end of the day, these are human beings that are behind all of these things. Your Instagram followers are humans. They're just people, right? The people that purchase your course, your students, are just people. They're humans. They need help from you. And so if you just circle back to that, if you always go back to that, like, it'd be like literally the same as if you were to find someone at a dinner party. You were invited to your friend's house for wine and cheese one night. You go over there, you meet someone at their house. You've never met them before in your life, but they're like, oh, you know what's funny is, like, this girl's opening up a business and she needs this thing. You talk with her, and it's not like super salesy and data driven. It's like, oh my God, like, tell me about what you're doing. Tell me about what are the struggles you're facing? What's really hard? What's been really exciting? What do you want to like accomplish? Those are like real conversations. And so we need to start getting in the habit of like real conversations and stop hiding behind like the digital aspect of this, because this is the new reality. And so we need to treat it like actual reality, not like we're hiding behind our screens. These are humans. So start having those human conversations with these people, especially if these people are going to end up giving you dollars, giving you their money. You have to start building that real life relationship with these people. It's all about relationships. That's all it is. And when we find the gap in the market, we are just finding a good solution to a specific person's problem. So, circling back, the freebie today, download it, start filling it out, decide who you want to work with, and guess what? This is not set in stone. You're not marrying these freaking people. You can choose people, different people all over the place, right? You can say, this week I want to create something for this person. Next month I want to create something for this person. You can go around and around, and you don't have to be committed to just creating beauty images if you don't want to. You can try it out. But before you start just going out and shooting random stuff, I want you to spend the time, choose a person, and start serving those people. Find them online, have a real conversation, ask what they need help with, and create that for them. Start serving these people. Yes, Jean, we absolutely did see this firsthand. When you meet people in person, or you have those one-on-one conversations, even if you're across the world and they're just Zoom calls, that is night and day. So much. Jacqueline, perfect example. Jacqueline has been amazing. She's been an amazing person in my community. She has connected with me on Instagram. She's connected with me on Facebook. She's commented on my stuff. But it is very different now. Our relationship is very different because we took it to the next level. We took it to one-on-one Zoom calls. How can we work together? How can we collaborate? What can I do for you? What does your audience need from me? Let me create that for you. Just this weekend, I created a product for her membership, and it's going to be so amazing. But I asked her, what do you need from me? Do you need styled stock photos? Because I can go and I can shoot a whole bunch. And she's like, you know what? Like, we don't really need that. We have someone else that's filling that gap. That's awesome. But we do have another gap, and people are asking for Instagram stories templates. I'm like, sold. I can do that for you. I can totally make that for you. And I did, right? Because I asked. I had that one-on-one conversation. So not only should you be finding the gap in like a specific person's needs, but that person might have a huge audience. Like, Jacqueline has an audience, and she's trying to serve them the best. And so when we have that conversation, you not only get to help one person, which is the goal, like I want to create these things for Jacqueline and have her, use the templates, but she's then sharing it to her people. And then it just creates this like My mom tried to call me. Ignore that. Yes, I'm so glad that you love this point, Jenny. Off the screen, figuring out how you can serve each other is so important. We do have a lot to offer each other. And same thing with Nicolette. Like, so many people have been helped with her services. And then by sharing her skills with my audience, you know, and same thing with Jacqueline, by sharing Nicolette's skills and everything she has to offer, we're just helping our people more, right? It's that collaboration, but we do not get that commitment to people until we actually get off just comments online on our stuff, right? We actually have to get off the, oh, am I frozen? Sorry, Carrie. I wonder if I'm still going. I'll wrap this up so that way you guys can watch the replay so it won't be frozen. But basically it boils down to this. Start having those real conversations. One-on-one, on Zoom. Everyone refresh your screen so hopefully you can see it. And if you guys do have questions, put them in the comments below. I will see you guys tomorrow, and I will put links if you have not signed up for this. I would love for you guys to share this with your audiences. Talk to you guys tomorrow.